Peace and blessings, family. This is your boy Gerald. Yesterday, some of y'all may have saw the video I put out right before I started my day. And for those who have stumbled on this video, this is for the intended. This is not for everybody. This is for that person that I'm speaking to your heart. I am validating your intellect. I'm speaking over your legacy. Well, it is cold and overcast here in Virginia Beach. And for those on the northeast side of the coast, there's a possible northeastern heading your way. I hope that you and your family are well. But this morning when I woke up, as I always give thanks, I always take my vitamins and I stay grounded by placing the Most High first in my life. But the one question that has always been milling in the back of my mind is the fact that if you know what you need, what is keeping you from it? Let me say this again. If you know what you need, what is keeping you from it? This is a question that comes across the thoughts of millions and millions of people. But yet, every day, they stay and remain the same. There is an unconditional loyalty to their reality at that moment. But yet, we as human beings, we as spiritual beings, will never be able to master time. We can only respect it. So it causes me to go within. It keeps me grounded to wonder, why is it that some people understand that one question and others simply do not acknowledge it? It is easy to say today, and you got to bear with me because these soup coolers ain't working, but they're mine. There's a lot of pain socially in a town near you, in a city near you, in a state near you, that is felt in your neighbor's house, that is felt maybe in your house, that is felt in your workplace. And I like to believe a lot of it is because of that cliche. There's a lot of people that are afraid of what we know as truth, because truth today is not based off of critical thinking. It's not based off of fact. It is based off of what is condoned, what is accepted, and what is not challenged within. So it makes me go back to ask this question. If you know what you need, what's keeping you from it? What's keeping you loyal to whatever makes your reality? One of the greatest examples of that is dialogue with ourself, knowledge of self, to ability to commit to critical thinking. And you see it play out all the time, because it would be a travesty not to acknowledge there are millions and millions of beautiful and intelligent people that choose to go with the status quo, that choose to not challenge themselves to be their best selves, to choose to simply sustain. And the price tag for that being played out every day is disappointment, is alienation, it's resentment, it's spitefulness, and condescending tactics instead of simply being aware. Yes, I know there are countless people that will use the term of being woke. I'm woke. That is nothing but a descriptive position. Because if you truly knew the word, what woke is, you would see the value of your life. You will respect your uniqueness. And you would also see the value of that single breath that you take right now. But see, as I mentioned yesterday, that we have gotten conditioned to accept that there are strength in numbers, not to take a second to be aware that there may be an agenda, that there may be another goal, just like a pawn on the chessboard of life. Yes, I know there may be some people that say, well, Gerald, what you're describing is nothing but what we know is duality. But in actuality, it is free will. To the beginning of the inclination of your first mental thought, you were taught through condition about right and wrong. But it was free will that would navigate what position would hold value to your being. And I made a comment yesterday when I said that that has been the constant illustration this whole year, these last 11 months. And you found fellowship in pain, discord, than love. Well, if that was the case, wouldn't you be living that illustration of what inspires you? Wouldn't you grow from that validation of where you place yourself? But that is not the case. And what is considered a want is really an allusion to a need, because your life is priceless. And it's really descriptive. It's really nothing but a distraction when you think about it. Because, see, at the end of the day, regardless if what your stance is in your spirituality, because I know when I bring up spirituality, that automatically there'll be those that will flee. They don't want to touch that at all because that's too intimate, because we're speaking to yourself. We're talking about that little boy, that little girl that wakes up every day for a new illustration or an opportunity to grow. But yet, toxic illustrations spewed out just as if it was a semi-automatic, only to be regurgitated over and over through time. But the loyalty can be broken with one moment of truth. Who am I talking to? My queens, I've echoed this for years. You will never find satisfaction trying to ride the coattails of your illusion when you should be riding the wings of your beauty. But you will not know that until you're able to connect to who matters most. That's that beautiful person looking back. And I also understand that because of social conditioning, it can be problematic because that may be what you know, and that is what the measurement is when it comes to how you decide. But I'm here to tell you there's something else, there's something better that is waiting to be unlocked. But that cannot be until you decide to have the greatest relationship you'll ever come to know, because that relationship is the story of your life. Now, I know there may be some people that say, well, Joe, you don't understand. I've made bad choices in my life. I've burned bridges in my life. And this is just going to be the end story. Who told you that? Who told you that? You know, there is a price when it comes to change. And that price is being authentic. But when you choose to be authentic, not only will you be able to tap into what is so magnificent, it will take a lifetime for you to understand and define it. But if you let the naysayers tell you, they're quickly to talk you off that ledge. They don't want you to tap into what they've already known. That's why they seek your allegiance, because misery loves company. Misery also is the doorway to what we know is the generational curse, too. So if you already know what you need, what is keeping you from it? What is keeping you loyal to what the living constant is? What I mean by the term living constant, I am talking about the example of what you display every day. Because you are willingly holding yourself hostage, as well as you're allowing others who do not see the value of your worth to define it. Now, I also understand that there are some that feel that, Gerald, I'd rather be feared than loved. But the truth be told, you're afraid to love yourself. You're afraid to allow that vulnerability of who you really are to be revealed, because pain has become your friend. And pain knows no time. It is actually a spiritual tool. It is the indicator that lets you know what is real from what is not. But to truly embrace that choice, we must first acknowledge what is present, what is constant, what is the example. Now, tell me again why you don't think you're worth being happy. Tell me again why you feel that you're not on the level of your peers. Maybe you are above them. This is not a means to be disrespectful. This is stating the obvious. Because you are witty does not mean you're intelligent. That just means you are allowing opportunity to be squandered. It's no different than someone trying to drive down a freeway just to take an exit, but the exit goes nowhere but puts them back on. Maybe the actual action is for you to pull off the side of the road and think it through. Maybe this is the moment that you decide that, hey, living a impulsive, reckless behavior is more detrimental to my dreams. But see, when it comes to those who are in fear, when it comes to those who have been traumatized, that is all they know. But the solution is allowing yourself to heal. You want to change? You got to go through it. You must apply what we know is dedication. That is the application to the problem. If not, what ends up happening is you spend countless time of coulda, woulda, shoulda, knowing you deserve best. And the sad thing is your environment will leave you abandoned only to figure it out alone. Does it surprise you now in 2018? You have so many people suffering with depression. And wherever depression lives, its neighbor is always addiction. It's always deflection. It's never accountability. Why? Because the moment you decide to acknowledge what needs to be corrected, that is a moment a breakthrough is revealed. Now tell me again why you don't think you're worth, or your life is not worth being treasured, being loved, feeling emotionally safe. Why? Because you see it in the tabloids, because you see it played out on the TV, and you say, I want to be just like them. But if you take the sound out and just look at the imagery, it's nothing to be proud of, because all you see is an illustration of imbalance and impulsive people, only to get crumbs of what they're worth. Who am I talking to? How much pain you got to endure. Even the legendary Erykah Badu made a classic called Bag Lady. Well, there's a lot of bag men out there too that hang their hat high on their regret. Maybe that's the reason why we listen to certain types of music, because it's meant to keep you intoxicated, keep you distracted, and not seeing what the work that should be done. That's what putting work is in. You put work in it for the reward. Shouldn't that reward be your smile? Shouldn't that be your peace of mind? Because I'm gonna tell you, like I told some of you a long time ago, when you're living your life correctly, guess what? You don't have to look over your shoulder. You don't have to remember what was said and who it was conveyed to. You don't have to be strategic on the next step you make, because it's blessed. And the trade-off is those people that never had your best interest, they can't have access to you. You will automatically be divided from them. That's what spiritual tests are. You're being tested every day. One of the greatest prolific tests you ever had was waking up this morning. But we take that for granted, just like you take for granted that you'll be able to lay your head on that pillow tonight. You're not guaranteed to see home. It's all about calculation by way of navigating your life, not by the labels, the shackles. And when I mean shackles, I'm talking about the brand names that wear, that hang off of your body. Now, Queen, you know I love you. King, I'm standing by you. But it matters not until you are able to tell the person that matters most, and that's that person in the mirror. That is the first person that greets you every day, the last person you see at night. That's you. But we are socially accepting the mindset and the mentality of the schizophrenic, the sociopathic, the narcissistic, and the bipolar as the new norm. It's not. It's either right or it's wrong. It's either right or you don't belong. The question is, if you know what you need, what's keeping you from it? Maybe the answer was already there. And it's okay to be afraid. Just like life, we have highs, we have lows, and we have plateaus. That's what we know as the living constant. Because guess what? Your reality is nothing but a physical reflection of your state of being. So if you don't like the company that you keep, change the way you see it. If you don't like the outcome that's being given, why accept it? If you know it does not work for you, why embrace it? But see, right now, it's all about the fellowship of the broken, not the delivered. Because guess what? Everybody's got a story. Shouldn't yours be blessed? But right now, it is being accepted to be frozen, to be numb, to be interrupted. And you know who that benefits? The opportunists. Because as long as you choose not to invest in you, they're gonna benefit off of you. They know that you're not functioning from a stable place. No, I'm sorry. That magic pill is not going to make the pain go away. But what will be the truth of acknowledging what is broken. And yes, a broken heart can mend. The glue is you loving you. The connection is already and will forever be. But until you decide to claim you, you will never understand your purpose. And if you don't understand your purpose, wouldn't it make sense that you will not understand your direction? That is where the influx of connections of people come into your life. That's why we hear the metaphor, the same people you meet going up is the same people that go down. But you never talk about the dialogue. You never hear anyone discuss about why. What was the reason? If you didn't have any value, no one would waste their time investing in you. Because the greatest commodity that a person can ever have, it's access to your life. But if you let them tell you, they'll tell you it's fate. There's no such thing as fate. Everything is about free will, cause and effect, and being able to see the value of that gift. So if you're tired of being mistreated, acknowledge you've been mistreated. If you're tired of not being loved, love yourself. because you can't build a future with a lie. The trade-off for that is deception, that your life is going to play out, and the reality that it was not. Now, I understand this video is going to reach the intended person, the intended heart, intended mind. This is not for the person that wants to run away, that does not want to take accountability for their lives. Those people have a lot more life lessons to go with and a whole lot of more pain to bear. You ain't built for that. You never was. You was built to smile. You was built to grow. And that is why you have a legacy to begin with. God is praying for you. You know I am. I see your worth. And for that, it helps me discern mine. And like I've told y'all, stop trying to live your life in your past. If it's divinely meant, you'll see him again. And trust and believe when I say you will see them again. Because you know why? If you don't learn the lessons, if you do not understand why they had access to your life, everything that you've gone through would have been in vain. Let that sink in. Be blessed.